miss your chance to win a brand new 2022 Honda CRF 450 Works Edition for $10. Go to www.kaplancycles.com. Buy your ticket today.
I think I should just drop the mic and walk out now. This thing is absolutely outstanding. It's a world-class example of the Elsinore CR125, the bike that changed the history of motocross, brought competitive national caliber racing weapon to the masses at a reasonable price. It brought motocross to the high schools where they had high school motocross teams. You could buy one of these for under $1,000 brand new back in the 70s. This bike right here is probably the lowest hour example we've ever seen here. We have the original front tire to it that we took off. There's no evidence of the bike being repainted. It has original handlebars, original plastics. The seat cover is original. The entire bike is in pristine mint condition. When I fired it up, the engine is super tight. It was just been given a refresh here by the Wizard from sitting. It sat for, well, almost 50 years. So it's got a, I don't have the work order. I think Billy's got the work order. Guys, this may be the lowest hour example, unless there's a brand new one fresh out of the box in the United States here. I've never seen a more original low hour unit. Now, the bike had been sitting for many years, so the Wizard took it downstairs, took the top end off, examined the piston and rings, decided to put a brand new piston in it, so the engine is brand new. It has a brand new head gasket, brand new base gasket, brand new spark plug. The car's been rebuilt. It's got a new air filter. Wizard bored it and put a brand new top of the line forged Wiseco piston in here. Changed the gear oil. It's got a brand new electronic ignition on it. I think it's a PVL. Is that correct? Yep. So the ignition and piston, this is what they would have done on a race bike back in the day. It's race prepped. It's almost, well, in my opinion, it's too nice to ride because these are so rare, but if you were looking for a bike to take out and send it on, this would be it. It has a brand new set of tires on it. It's been completely serviced front to back. The Wizard put quite a bit of time into it. Then it went down to the detail shop where it was completely detailed. It was steam clean. As you can see, the engine, cylinder head and cylinder and exhaust were repainted. The frame is original paint. It's been touched up in a few areas. Let me grab the work order here and see exactly what else.
Only in wear areas. If you see the VIN number up here, this is really the telltale, guys. If a frame was hastily repainted or previously worn, this is where you would see it. You see a little bit of wear where the factory cable went, but this is original paint. Look how beautiful. This is really as good as it gets. So as far as a repaint on the chassis, there was a little bit of paint in some wear areas over here, but it was done very sparingly. The frame rails are perfectly straight, and the pipe is in tremendous condition. There's a few little dings. This is a bike that maybe was ridden two or 3 hours, maybe. 1 or 2 rides at Lake Elsinore before it was tucked away. I don't know, man. It's got no time.
In addition to the outside of the tank being in brand new condition, the inside's been professionally cleaned by the Wizard. The petcock has been cleaned and serviced. It has a new fuel line on it. And as I mentioned, the new ignition. Ronnie steam cleaned the bike, degreased it, touched up the side of the frame where it needed a little bit of touch-up paint on where the boots were rubbing on it. The engine was repainted. The shocks were touch-up painted. Actually, they might have been repainted. Let me see here. Yep, the shocks are repainted. The foot pegs are repainted. The kickstand was repainted. The hubs, the handlebars were touched up. All the plastics were polished. The wheels, spokes, sprocket, shifter. This has been given what we call a full rotisserie detail, which means from the bottom of the tires to the top of the handlebar, not a square inch of the bike was not touched, clean, polished, or in the case of the tires and the paint replaced. The gas tank was hand waxed and polished, or polished then waxed. The seat cover was cleaned. I'm 99% sure that's the original chain on the bike too. And Junior said he's got the original front tire here, which we replaced just because it was 50 years old.
Actually, right under my desk here, for safekeeping, here it is. Check this thing out. Motocross 7, not for highway use. Bridgestone.
I consider myself qualified to say this. If you Google or go on YouTube and punch in Honda Elsinore 125, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, all the way up to into the 90s, we've owned every one here. In fact, at one point, we had the original 73 to 79 lined up in the showroom, every single one. And I've seen a lot of them that have had frame-up restorations that look this good, but I have not seen one that was this original, you know, with original tire, original paint, original seat cover, all original motorcycle parts intact. It's just a phenomenally preserved original that was just taken to another level mechanically with the brand new Wiseco piston and tuned to perfection. Now, these are not like a modern 125. This is a piston port injection. What that means is there's
Inducted,
piston port inducted, excuse me. There is no reed valve here. So they don't really have much of a bottom end, and frankly, all 125s are designed to run in the higher RPMs, but unlike the new ones, like the YZs and the gases where you can lug them, the KTMs, Huskies, this is a full-on, you got to rev it to the moon to get it to run, and that's where all the power is up top. But it's a hoot to ride. If you're looking for something to display in your private collection, or if you're looking for an investment that's going to go up in value, buy this bike. You won't find a nicer original. This is not a restored motorcycle. This is a bike that has received a bevy of what I'll call preservation services after a lifetime of being in a private collection. Now, this was the collection we bought this from. The guy had radiant heat flooring in a custom-built building designed just for housing his collection with no windows. So it got zero UV degradation on the paint, and it was in a completely water-free environment, no humidity because of the radiant heat flooring and the air conditioning. So it was
Look at the factory
pristine.
tag. That's just
Pristine
ridiculous.
preservation. Well, what's a bike like this worth? Well, if you buy one and you want to do a frame up, plan on spending about a year of your time, nights and weekends, and then finding a guy like Joe Abate or someone who has a skill set to massage a gas tank back to perfection. And I just talked to Joe the other day. It's not uncommon for him to put 30 hours labor just into a gas tank. So if you're going to pay a shop to do it, it would be not economically feasible to take an average used 125 and bring it back to this level if you had to pay a shop, because you'd be looking at 120 hours labor mechanically, another 20 to 40 cosmetically. You'd be spending over $15,000 just in labor plus parts. And there's very few shops besides us and Joe Abate and a few other shops, and we're all backed up 6 months of the year, not taking new clients. So
yeah, we don't accept new service work on old bikes at the moment.
We can't. We're too backed up. We have too many bikes Kyle and I just did an inventory. We have 159 motorcycles, 159 waiting to be serviced here right now. And with a staff of 18, that's a long backlog. So, and we're not taking any more bikes in. If you want a pristine example like this, bid high and bid often, folks, because you will not be able to replicate this bike for anything under. You're going to spend a year of your time plus 10 grand. What's that worth to you? So
it'll be sold on bill of sale. Message your zip code for a shipping quote. We can ship it anywhere in the States or overseas inexpensively. Let us know if you're overseas. We can link you up with a contact, a broker that can help you out. Any questions, call the shop line 860-454-7024 or message through eBay.
I wish I could afford to keep it, but we need the funds to fund the museum and the shop. This is how we pay the staff for being here. So this one's coming up for grabs. So buy it or regret not buying it. Good luck bidding, and God bless America.